All right, so let's find out more about our new police commissioner, General Sihlahli Fani Masemola. And I'm joined by Dr. Johan Burger from the Institute for Security Studies. Dr. Burger, thank you so much. Talk to us about his relationship with Bheki Cele. It was such a problem, the previous relationship between Bheki Cele and Khetla Sithole. Is this going to be a better partnership?
Well, I think so. I think one of the problems in the past, and let me just use this opportunity to congratulate General Masemola with his appointment and to offer the support of the Institute for Security Studies going forward. But yes, I think part of the problem in the past with General Sihlahli was that he was not the kind of operational leader that the police needed at this time, and I think this frustrated the minister. The contrary is true with General Masemola, who is an absolute operational officer. His whole life was in operations, and as the president announced when he made the announcement, said he's been involved in all kinds of operations, and he's proven himself as highly competent in that regard. And I think that would go a long way towards removing a bone of contention between the office of the minister and the office of the national commissioner.
Of course, the relationship doesn't need to be too close. He would still need to very clearly seize his authority. Am I right? Just talk to us about the actual relationship and what his main challenge is going to be, not only in terms of how he works with the police minister, but just going forward with the rank and file.
Yes, I mean, you know, the challenges are many. As far as the relationship with the minister is concerned, keep in mind that he is appointed by the president, but he reports to the minister. And there's a fine line there. The minister is the political head of the police department, which comprises of more than just the police. There's the secretariat, there's CIRA, there's IPID. But as head of the police, the national commissioner needs to report regularly to the minister in terms of how he is conducting, executing his responsibilities. And then, of course, you know, the minister sets policing policy in terms of the Constitution, in terms of the Police Service Act, the Secretariat Act. So the minister sets policing policy. The National Commissioner and the police are responsible for implementing that policy. That's the operational side of it. So, you know, to that extent, that relationship is fairly clear. And I expect that this relationship would play itself out much better than in the past, given the fact that Fani Masemola understands his operational responsibilities. He's got the expertise, the experience to do this. So I expect a much better relationship in that regard between his office and that of the minister.
I've just been doing a quick Google search to try and find out his age, because there's been some talk that he's close to retirement. It seems he's 58, which is not that close. I mean, at what age is one, do you have to retire in the police service?
Well, the normal age is the retirement age is 60. But I think, you know, I have not looked at the legislation, but I think it can be extended beyond that, where there's this contractual relationship. So I'm speaking under correction, but I think that he would probably be allowed to serve out his 5-year term.
I see. And could he be eligible for a second 5-year term if he is wildly successful?
Well, I doubt that. In terms of current legislation, I doubt that he would be eligible for a second term. Normally, the law is not that clear, but there's been talk about this, that a national commissioner could be appointed for a second term. But in his case, with his age, I think that is quite unlikely.
There are two areas that relate to not what you put down on a piece of paper on your CV. And one is how you galvanize a very demoralized police service, which is crucial. And the other is how you help build trust with communities. And the President has particularly spoken about the need for people management skills and also for the ability to build trust with communities. From what you know of him and his personality, do you think that he's up to those two very sort of emotional intelligence-related skills?
Yes, you know, I've met Fani a couple of times over the years, and I was always impressed by his quiet, competent way of doing things. You know, he's provided excellent leadership in terms of the range of operational committees that he's chaired over the years, such as for the 2010 Soccer World Cup as a good example, and many others. He's not a person that goes around talking too much. He's more inclined to doing things than talking about it. But he's got an excellent personality in terms that he's inclined to listen to people, offer people the opportunity to speak and to give their views on issues. So, you know, in that sense, I think he has the necessary skills to work with people. Of course, he's first, apart from, you know, settling himself in, he's got a main challenge in terms of tackling a thorough reform process within the police service, starting with his leadership. That in itself is going to be his biggest challenge.
So that's going to be his biggest challenge. Would you suggest he has to start there, or should he focus his attention on our crime problem? I mean, we have a massive crime and violence problem in South Africa.
Yeah, you see, that's the challenge that every leader in the criminal justice system faces at the moment, is that you cannot simply focus on your internal issues. That is very, very important. That's crucial. But you have to keep in mind your primary responsibility in terms of Section 205 of the Constitution is to do all that is required of the police in terms of crime prevention, crime investigation, law enforcement, and all the other functions. And given our crime situation, he has got a huge responsibility there. So his task is a two-pronged task. He's got to deal with the crime challenges that this country faces, and at the same time, he's got to deal with the internal crisis within the police service. And I think, you know, that this is going to be a difficult task, but I think he's capable of doing this. He must just know and understand that he cannot do this alone. Apart from his own support within the organization, there are institutions such as the ISS and many others out there who are available, who can support, provide support in terms of especially the reform process that needs to be conducted within the police service.
All right, thank you so much for your views this evening, Dr. Johan Burger from the Institute of Security Studies.